Have you lost your baby weight, worked out consistently, cleaned up the diet, and you still find yourself staring at the lower belly pooch and just wondering, why won't this go away? If so, you're not alone. In fact, this is one of the most common, probably most frustrating things I hear from women every single week. They often tell me they feel self-conscious in their clothes, they avoid certain outfits, they don't like seeing themselves in photos or looking in the mirror. Some feel frustrated because despite their hard work, their belly still looks pregnant months or even years, even decades after having a baby. And while most assume that this is something just like an appearance issue, the mommy tummy may be the most important clue your body is trying to give you, because what if your stomach isn't really the problem at all? What if it's just a symptom of something much bigger? Hi guys, I'm Dr. Jess Papa. I founded Arancia Physical Therapy in Cranston, Rhode Island. I'm a pelvic floor and fascia expert, and today I want to share something that completely changes how women think about their postpartum bodies, because the truth is that your mommy tummy is often much more than your abs. It's your entire system. Understanding that can be the difference between staying stuck and then finally making progress forward. Most women have been taught that their stomach sticks out, that they need stronger abs. So do more crunches, more planks, more core exercises. But the issue is that your body doesn't function in isolated pieces and parts. It's an integrated whole system. And when one piece of that system isn't working well, the entire body starts to compensate. That's why many women have persistent lower belly issues, and they also experience things like bladder leaks, pelvic pain, pelvic heaviness, even core weakness or hip tightness. And they struggle with exercise. They don't feel connected. The first thing I want you to know is that your core is not just your abs. It is made up of four major components. Four things that must work together. The first is your diaphragm. This is your primary breathing muscle that forms the roof and the top of your core. Every breath you take influences the pressure inside your abdomen. The second is your abdominal wall. These are the muscles that people often think of when they hear the word core. They help support the trunk and transfer force throughout the body. The third is your pelvic floor, right? That forms the bottom of the core system and helps support your pelvic organs and contributes to bladder control, bowel function, and pressure management. The fourth is your deep spinal stabilizers, right? These are the back muscles of the core and provide support and stability for your spine during movement. Think of these four structures as a pressure canister. So the diaphragm is your roof, the abdominal wall is the front, the pelvic floor is the bottom floor, and your spinal stabilizers are on the back. When all four components are working together efficiently, pressure is distributed well throughout the body the way it was designed to. However, when one becomes restricted, weak, disconnected, or unable to coordinate properly, the entire system starts compensating. That's where problems start to arise. So this matters because pressure management does influence much more than the appearance of your abs. It affects your bladder control, your core function, your spinal support, movement efficiency, your performance with exercise, and even the way that force is transferred through your body through everyday activities. So that's why focusing exclusively on the stomach is often disappointing when it comes to the results. The abdominal wall is only one piece of the equation. If the diaphragm isn't moving well, that top, if the pelvic floor isn't responding appropriately, the spinal stabilizers aren't giving enough support, or if there's restriction, let's say from a C-section scar affecting your mobility and muscles activating, things begin to compensate. And over time, that can show up like restrictions like persistent belly pooching, bladder leaks, back pain, pelvic pressure, trouble returning to exercise. That's where the conversation gets a little spicy. So let's talk about C-section scars for a sec. So most women assume that once the incision heals, the scar is no longer a big deal. But scar is much more than what you see on the surface, right? Under the scar, there's 7 layers of tissue, connective fascia, nerves and muscles that have to heal and move all together. And when restrictions develop, they can influence how the abdominal wall functions, how pressure moves through your body. And listen, I've worked with women who were 5, 10, 20 years postpartum, and they are still experiencing restrictions from the scars of C-sections. And not because something went wrong with the surgery, but because nobody ever addressed it or told them, hey, this is important. The restrictions can contribute to that pulling or tightness, weakness, poor posture, poor pressure, and in some women, that poochy belly, lower abdomen look. This is one reason I've become so excited about the potential role of shockwave therapy. Shockwave therapy is a game changer in regenerative treatment that helps stimulate circulation, cellular activity, collagen remodeling, and tissue healing. And when used appropriately around a C-section scar, it really helps to improve the tissue mobility and support the healing environment. It goes down to the cell level. The results are so powerful. Women often tell me things like, my scar feels softer, my stomach feels more connected, I don't feel that pulling sensation, my core feels stronger, I'm just more comfortable in my clothes. One of my favorites, I finally feel like my body is working with me again. The important thing I want you to take away from all this is that a mommy tummy is really just an ab issue. It's often a reflection of how the entire pressure system is functioning, those 4 parts of the core. The more we understand that diaphragm, the abdominal wall, the pelvic floor, and the spine stabilizers and how the tissues interact, it becomes easier to identify the contributing symptoms and what interventions could be most helpful. Understanding these connections is really a missing piece for women who've spent years trying to improve their mommy tummy just by focusing on their abs alone. So if you've been frustrated by your lower belly area despite your best efforts, I just encourage you to stop asking, what ab exercises should I do next? And really just start thinking and asking, well, how are the 4 parts of my core working together? Because that question often leads to far more meaningful answers and transformations. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Did you know your core was made up of 4 different parts? I mean, how many can say yes? What surprised you the most? If you're interested in learning more about diastasis recti, pelvic floor dysfunction, C-section recovery, bladder leaks, and whole body healing, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And if you know another mom who's frustrated by her mommy tummy, please share this video with her. She deserves to know that there is so much more to the story than weak abs. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.